911, what's your emergency?
I'm freaking out. I can't stop watching these videos. This guy won't let me turn it off.
Sir, what are you talking about?
He's this big bald guy. He's raising his hands up in the shape of horns. What is that about?
Oh boy, we've got a code 666.
What the hell is that? Murder! Metal! Mayhem! Welcome back. I got another episode of 666 Seconds of Murder for you. And let me know what you think of this new intro. I've gotten some mixed reviews, but mostly people really dig it. And I got another one coming probably tomorrow that I think you'll like it just as much. It's different. You'll dig it. And you guys know the deal. These videos should be less than 666 seconds or 11 minutes and 6 seconds. It cut me some slack. I've had some people in the comments get really crazy about that every video should be exactly that. I try, but sometimes they go over. Nice and simple, though. I'll be getting through the information, so just hang on. And today I'm wearing a shirt to represent most of my time in the United States Army at Fort Hood, Texas. I was in the 1st Cavalry Division and was a member of the 7th Cavalry. That was George Custer's unit. So very historical unit. And same unit as took place in that, if you saw We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson, that unit was same unit. So very historical unit that I had the pleasure to serve with. Real quick, take a moment to like the video. If you're not a subscriber, please do that before you go. And leave a comment. Let people know what you thought about it. Now, I'm sure many of you following the case of the Idaho 4 have heard about the infamous KBAR knife sheath that was found beneath Maddie Mogen's body and a comforter on the bed. Now, my question is, how does the sheath end up beneath her if we're to believe she was attacked first and didn't put up a fight? How does it end up below her? It doesn't make any sense. To me, at least, it does not make any sense. So I thought it was a good question to at least pose and ask. When it comes to the knife sheath, the only reason we're even talking about it is because Detective Brett Payne with the Moscow Police Department wrote it into the PCA that they used to arrest Brian Kohberger. And I haven't seen anything else on the matter, as if we're from them, as if we're just supposed to believe that all of that is true and how it happened. No one has ever brought up that it's entirely possible that she had a KBAR knife in her room, concerned about what might happen. I mean, they all apparently knew something was about ready to blow. And the plan was already set in motion, unfortunately, in my opinion. And who knows, maybe Jake, her boyfriend, gave her one to have in her room, while he was out of town, especially. It's a popular knife. I've heard that over 1,000 were sold in that area alone in 2022. So over 1,000. Now, remember the University of Idaho student, Timmy Reed? He was attacked by a mob of people that crashed his party. And this was, a couple years ago. He said that he was afraid after the incident and slept with a knife under his pillow. So it's not ridiculous to think that Maddie could have had a KBAR at her side or somewhere within easy reach. So why just the sheath? I mean, if you were putting the knife in the bed next to you, it would not be worn on a belt like you typically would when you're using the sheath. So the knife and sheath could easily be separated in some sort of struggle, but apparently with her, at least, there was not a struggle. And maybe the person that did this took the knife with them to then get rid of it with the other evidence, whether it was theirs or not. Leaving the sheath behind, could have been, just a mistake. I don't know. There are many ways this could have gone, but I'm not seeing it as they're explaining it to me when you just critically look at how it could have gotten beneath her. Now, I've mentioned it, and many others have since the PCA came out, but, walking in a house with in a house with a knife with the sheath on, I mean, it's just absurd. You would wear it on your belt, or you would just walk in with the knife alone, like Rambo style. So the sheath has always stood out to me as such an odd thing to find at a crime scene like this. Just seems strange. And then the other thing, when are we going to know, what kind of wounds specifically, and could they have been made with a KBAR knife? I haven't seen anything definitive about that. That would be something we would have learned in the autopsies, I would assume. So maybe a KBAR wasn't even being used. Maybe all this ridiculous chasing the shiny object stuff that maybe they're playing games with, who knows, right? Who knows? Imagine if you were attacking her, you would have the advantage, of course, of surprise and darkness. Your eyes would have already adjusted to it. So a few times with a sharp-edged weapon and Maddie is out of the picture, it would go very quickly for the first person until everybody else starts waking up and it's like bedlam in there, I would assume. Now, in that scenario, how does the sheath end up below the body and a comforter? I mean, this leads me to believe it was never there to start with, or it was planted later on. They are sold separately as well as together. I got an email from a guy who owned a retail business in that area, and he said that he sold the heck out of just the sheaths because a few years ago there was some push by the company to sell the replacement sheaths, so he was getting them by the stack full, and they were popular. So they could be purchased together, but also separate. Now, if what I've heard is right, and the sheath was swabbed for DNA at the scene, and then the physical sheath not actually sent to the lab, that's concerning. And that opens up some gaping holes in this whole story. Interviewed a police officer, an Australian federal police officer, and he said that if that's how they did it, that's just not the way it's supposed to be done. Now, how the hell do we know if the people who sampled it swabbed the brass button snap or Brian Koberger's apartment doorknob or his coffee mug at his office at WSU? I mean, not to mention that the DNA on the brass doesn't even last long. I've gone over this, I don't know how many times last year in videos. And at most, you're only talking about a few hours. And if the crimes happened at 4 a.m. like they claim, and Payne didn't show up till 4:30 p.m., you're talking, 12 hours plus. And DNA would have been long gone by then. So if that's the case, where did it come from? Now let me know, how that sheath ended up beneath Maddie and the comforter. I'd love to know what you guys come up with. Also, a retraction from my last video on the fight between Maddie and Kaylee. Apparently, I said 2022 instead of 2021. So I apologize, and thanks for the viewers that pointed that out. I appreciate it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this one. So drop a comment below. It helps get the video out there to more people. So leave some comments. And if you like reading dark, weird, creepy stuff, I've got some books. PeteAltieri.com. You can check it out. Read before you buy if you want. Big thanks to all the members of the Horns High Club. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate your support. And I appreciate everybody that watches these videos, because without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. So if you're interested in becoming a member of the Horns High Club, we've got that available as our membership here on the channel. It's $1.99 a month, and there's a link in the description if you want to join. Don't miss my next live on the Idaho 4 case. It's going to be Sunday, May 18th at 4 p.m. Central. I had to work it in around the Yankee schedule. So, they want Donna getting mad at me about that. So I made sure to work it around it. Okay. So, but don't miss the live. We always have fun with a good back and forth format. So join us. All right. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done that already, and leave a comment below. And I'll see you next time.